The details here below are more or less accurate. If you develop a publisher's yellow streak, you can always change the names and dates, buggered if I care. Meanwhile, on delivery of this, the second quarter of my advance is due. I'm off back to the smoke to find myself a tart and a bar, so sling the cheque over to the Harpo, in which place, too, a message can be left, delivering itself of your professional opinion, for what little it's worth. E.L.W. The fact is, I had just been sacked from my paper, some frantic piffle about shouting insults from the stalls at a first night. Theatre criticism should be judgment recollected in tranquillity, my wet turd of an editor had shrilled, still trembling from the waves of squeal and whinge that actors, directors, producers, and, wouldn't you just believe it, pompous, cowardly prigs of fellow reviewers had unleashed upon him by fax and phone throughout the morning. You know I support my staff, Ted. You know I venerate your work. I know no such bloody thing. I know that you've been told by people cleverer than you that I'm a feather in your greasy cap. I also knew that he was the kind of anile little runt who in foyers and theatre bars the West End over can be heard bleating into their gin and tonics, "I go to the theatre to be entertained." I told him so, and a full gill more. A month's salary, deep regret, the telephone number of some foul rehab clinic, and my lance was free. If you're a halfway decent human being, you've probably been sacked from something in your time. School, seat on the board, sports team, honorary committee membership, club, satanic abuse group, political party, something. You'll know that feeling of elation that surges up inside you as you flounce from the headmaster's study, clear your locker, or sweep the pen tidies from your desk. No use denying the fact. We all feel undervalued. To be told officially that we're off the case confirms our sense of not being fully appreciated by an insensitive world. This, in a curious fashion, increases what psychotherapists and assorted tripounds of the media call our self-esteem, because it proves that we were right all along. It's a rare experience in this world to be proved right on anything, and it does wonders for the amour propre, even when, paradoxically, what we're proved right about is our suspicion that everyone considers us a waste of skin in the first place. I boarded the boat that plies its fatuous course between newspaper land and real London, and watched the Sunday shite building grow upwards in space as slow knots were put between self and dismal docklands. And far from feeling mopey or put upon, I was aware of a great swelling relief and a pumping end-of-term larkiness. At such times, and such times only, a daughter can be a blessing. Leonora would by now have high-heeled her way, it being 12:30, to the Harpo Club. You probably know the place I mean. Can't use the real name, lawyers being lawyers. Revolving doors, big bar, comfy chairs, restaurants, more or less acceptable art on the walls. By day, smart publishers, and what used to be called the media hedin. By night, the last gasp of yesterday's Soho bohemians and washed-up drunks, taking comfort from the privilege of being sucked up to by the first gasp of tomorrow's ration. In the back brasserie, Leonora, hardly my idea, a name that tells you all you need to know about the child's footling mother, hugged, snogged, and squealed. "Daddy, what brings you here in the daytime?" If you take that slithery tongue out of my ear, I'll tell you. She probably imagined that a slightly famous daughter and her even more slightly famous father displaying easy affection for one another in such a manner would provoke envy and admiration in those of her tight-assedly bourgeois generation who only ever saw their parents for tea in hotels and wouldn't think of swearing, smoking, and drinking with them in public. Typical bloody Leonora. There are pubs all over the country where 3 generations of ordinary families drink and swear and smoke at each other every bloody night without it ever crossing their minds that they are simply sensationally lucky to have such a just brilliantly fabulous relationship with their wonderful daddies. I dropped the Rothmans and lighter on the table and let the banquette blow off like a Roman emperor as it took my weight. The usual dirt averted their eyes while I took in the room. Couple of actors, nameless knot of advertisers, that queen who presents architecture programs on Channel 4, 2 raddled old messes I took to be rock stars, and 4 women at a table, one of whom was a publisher, and all of whom I wanted to take upstairs and spear more or less fiercely with my cock. Leonora, whom I had never wanted to spear, the gods be thanked in these unforgiving times, was looking thinner and more lustrous-eyed than ever. If I didn't know it was unfashionable, I would have supposed